Hello everyone, welcome once again to another learning session. Today in our math class we'll be learning about word problems involving subtraction. Word problems involving subtractions. Remember in our earlier lesson we talked about word problems involving addition, and we looked at the keywords that will help us to know that a particular word problem involves the operation of addition. Okay, we took a look at some of the keywords. So in this lesson we're also going to look at the keywords that would help us to identify a word problem that involves subtraction. Okay, so the first word we have here is difference. When you see difference in a word problem, like what's the difference between this and that, x and y, it means you are taking away the smaller of the two from the bigger one. The second one here is take away. That's quite straightforward. So just take away one from the other. That's subtraction. And the third one here is left. Is left. Is left. Ada had 4 oranges. Jane took 2 out of the oranges. How many oranges are left? Or what is left of her oranges? So this also suggests it could be is left or are left. Okay, so let me just quickly add that. Is or are left. Okay, so the next one is how much less. How much less is x than y? Or how much more is x than y? What is the difference between this and that? So the smaller one, you will say how much less is it? The bigger one, how much more is it? It also, both of them involve subtraction. Number 6 is more than. How many oranges does Ojo have more than Kunle? Okay, so when you see that as well, it involves subtraction. Number 7 is fewer. Fewer than. Okay, you can have fewer, or how many fewer oranges does this person have than the other person? How many fewer notes does this person have than the other person? And in some other cases, it could read fewer than. Then number 8 is less than. By how much is this less than that? Number 9, made smaller by. There could be a certain value, a certain number with a certain value, and it is made smaller by another value. And then you are asked to find out the outcome. So if it's made smaller by a certain thing, what you do to get the outcome is subtract what it is made smaller by from the original value. And you get what they're looking for. And lastly, you have minus. Minus is a frequently used word, and we know it is synonymous with subtraction. So these are some of the words that give us cue. They help us to know or identify word problems that involve subtraction. So now that we have taken a look at this, we're going to see how 1 or 2 of them can actually feature in word problems. Okay. So here's an example on the board. It says BC bought 32 apples and Jane bought 19 apples. So how many more apples does BC have than Jane? How many more apples does BC have than Jane? We know that BC has 32 apples and Jane has 19 apples. So how many more means you're going to find the difference. You're taking away the smaller number of apples from the larger number. So what do we have? You have 32 minus 19. Okay, so 32 take away 19. We know 9 is bigger than 2, but we can always come here, take 1. Okay, we call it regrouping. So remember, this is tens and this is units. So the one you take from here has the value of 10 units. So 10 plus 2, that gives you 12. 12 take away 9, you have 3. So here we have 2 left. 2 take away 1, we have 1. So that means BC has 13 more apples than Jane. BC has 13 more apples than Jane. So please just take note of this. It could be how many more, or it depends on what is being looked at. If it is something that you can count, you use many more. How many more this, or how much more? So it depends. But once you see more, it's an indication that the operation of subtraction is required. So another example here is, it says Mark is 18 years, Tom is 13 years. What is the difference in the ages of the two boys? Take note of the word difference. Mark is 18, Tom is 13. What is the difference in the ages? That indicates subtraction. So we know that Mark is 18 and Tom is 13. So what do we do? 18 minus 13, right? So 8 take away 3, you have 5, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So the age difference is equal to 5 years. Okay? So the age difference is 5. So just using a few of the words, maybe we can use one more, like take away, or is less, or how many years older is Mark. It's another way this word problem can be read. Mark is 18 years, Tom is 13 years. How many years older is Mark? Or it can also read how many years less or younger is Tom. Okay, so there are different ways these word problems can go, but once you are able to take note of the key words that help you to know that subtraction is required, you won't have problem. Okay, so please, you can always go over this video again until you get a hang of the key words that indicate subtraction in word problems. Okay, I hope you've learned something today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, stay safe and stay blessed.